was a very angry person. I could get angry for almost anything easily. Hot-tempered, that's even the word, hot-tempered. So I was hot-tempered, and probably because I watched my parents, I didn't really regard people. I didn't know how to give respect to people. So these were things, and I was stubborn. I was very stubborn. I was stubborn and highly opinionated.
Wow.
That's the combinations.
That's serious. That's explosive.
I'm telling you, highly opinionated. So, and I loved to argue.
Whoa.
I could argue. Oh, you can't win me in an argument. And I used to argue off point. I don't know if you know what off point means.
Yeah.
Argue
it's not making sense,
but because I am opinionated, so I will stand my ground on whatever I'm saying. And no matter what you're saying, I can't understand you. I don't even want to understand you except you understand me.
Wow.
And these were things I grew up with. And because I grew up like that, I didn't even know it was a problem. Because I could argue. So it was a strength. Yes. That was what I thought. It was a strength. So how do I now meet a man and he's telling me that this is not a strength?
Yeah.
This is terrible. Yeah. You can't continue that way. So it was a lot to battle with. And not knowing, by the time we got married, this thing started to put a strain in our relationship. And it became so bad because the man I married was such an amazing man. He came from a background that was very peaceful. He's a very peaceful person. Till date, he is very peaceful. He doesn't like problems, trouble, nothing. But me, I came from a home that did not know what peace looked like. So peace for us was you shout, and that's peace. Yeah. When it's not peace is when you start boxing, when you start fighting. So if I'm talking, we're like, why are you raising your voice? Why? I'm like, me. I said, there's no problem. Nothing is happening yet. Parents won't have pointed it out as a problem because I got it from them. So we are all alike. So it was when I now left and got into the university. I think where I even found out that I actually had the problem when I met my husband, because I didn't know I had a problem. I actually thought I was good. And, I love to smile. So I was a smiley kind of person. So it's only when you get to me that you now, you see anger. But if you meet me, you will never know. So it was just beautiful, So I didn't see it as a problem until I met my husband. And in our relationship, we went out for 5 years. We went out for 5 years before we got married. So it was in that, in our going out, then he starts to point out things. And I'm like, what is the problem? As in, I don't see it as a problem. When I was arguing, people used to tell me, people used to hail me for my arguing skills, and they'll be telling me how I have had 2 people want to sponsor me to read law. Too many things you did in the heat of that outburst. Wow. So it's the people that you have offended or hurt that are the people that can remember what you did. Yeah. My husband has also reminded me, one of the times he spoke, he said he can remember the times I threw plates out of anger. Do you know I can't remember it? And I'll tell him, are you sure it's me? I said, it can't be me. No, I couldn't have done that. Me now. No, it's not me. But you see, but these are things you do, and it keeps, it keeps, there was something I said in my book, and I said that, I said something, I'm sure you must have read it, when I said that, today marriages, what is breaking homes is not even, it's not as much as, those days where you say maybe it's infidelity. Yeah. The things that are breaking homes today are these little things. They look little, but you see anger, you see whether it's being highly opinionated. So my husband couldn't just understand where I was coming from. And I think another problem I had was that I didn't really have an understanding of what God had put in his life and who he was to people. And because everything I did was affecting him, even to ministry. You have a ministration you're going to go for. You don't want to have an argument before a ministration. But I didn't even understand all these things at that time. So I can make him so upset before he goes for administration. I think it just took God to help my husband during that period, because you have to show up to the people and you have to give to them, And it's now that I'm doing ministries, now that God has, that I now understand the place I put him in, those years. Because you need a mind that is, at peace, and you need a free spirit, even to receive from God. You don't need offense. You can't receive from the Holy Spirit with offense. So you imagine what I was doing. I think the devil was just using me, at that point. And these things were things that caused a lot of strain, to the extent that at some point my husband even, stopped talking much to me. He'll just be quiet. I can say everything I want to say. He'll just be nodding his head. And you're expecting that he shouldn't just nod, but he was just nodding because I don't know the next thing I'll say, and you flip, you go off, and I won't know how to control you. So, and just to go back to what you said, sir, about, him saying I left him. Do you know, the truth is that angry people, most times, when they do the things they do, they don't even know what they are doing. They don't remember.
Wow.
They don't remember what they do, because they do it in anger, in the heat of the moment. It's an emotion that it's uncontrolled. And because you react, based on that emotion, by the time you come back to your senses, by the time you calm down, you forget